There are a couple of things I would like to tell the students attending my course in cultural sociology at University of Southern Denmark this fall of 2011. The first thing is that the idea is not to be presented to a lot of PowerPoint slides giving the essence of what is to be read, and that way avoiding to read it or having help in organizing what you've been reading. That work you're supposed to do on your own. Why is that? Because actually that's the way you learn. When you read and try to get the essence of what you read, organize it, you learn to manage text and information. If the teacher provides you with too much help on this issue, it's not really a proper way to educate people in a university. I personally believe that you should meet in the classroom having read all the stuff, and then you can listen to what I say and you will see the connections with what I'm saying, which is not a reproduction of what you've read, but that is connected to what you've read. And there are some examples, there are some explanations. Sometimes I pick up some quotes, sometimes I pick up some themes from the readings, and very often I actually talk about something else that is in relation to the text you've read and that are central to the theme. Of course, you can follow my argument without reading the text, but you won't understand all of it and you won't get as much as those who have read the text. There is something important that I want to stress for students reading sociological stuff. I think it's important because one has to realize how difficult it is to get into conceptualization, abstraction, the possibility of seeing different nuances in what you see and also in the concepts you use, the way they are built together. This important thing is that contrary to mathematics, physics, and that kind of sciences that are very often said to be more exact than sociological science and social psychology and marketing and the like. Well, in sociology, you can interpret and understand what is said even though you haven't learned exactly what the words you use mean. In mathematics, if you do not know what the symbols, the signs, mean, then you cannot understand and you cannot follow what is said in the class. In sociology, you can translate and understand some of it and then recompose a meaning. Precisely in the same way as some people say, well, I get 50% of French language or Italian or Spanish, because they do understand some words, or they think they do. Sometimes it's not at all what those words means, but they can reconstruct the meaning of they can construct, not reconstruct, they can construct a meaning. They can construct a whole sentence that makes sense for them, but it doesn't have to have much to do with what actually has been said in English or Spanish or French or Italian. That very often happens when you know a language and you ask some people, what did you get out of this? Well, they'll tell you something and they are really convinced that they did understand the whole thing, but actually they made sense of it by themselves. This is a very important problem for students in the field of sociology. It is that we're talking about very common issues that everybody can have an opinion about, issues that you normally have something to say about. So you will understand, we're talking about culture, about differences, we're talking about different people and the way they behave. we're talking about everyday life and malls and towns and city life and the like, and media and whatever. And of course, you will have an opinion about that, and you will make sense of what has been said. But what you should try to do is to actually be able to understand exactly what has been said, almost like if it was mathematics. You should be able to see the difference between what the teachers say, or what the text says, or which theoretician is saying or is trying to explain, the way the concepts are built together, built up in how they relate to each other in this body of theory, in this tradition, and compare with another one where it is explained in a different way and the concept connects in a little different way. You should also see the nuances using the language, and do not call a myth for a lie or lie for a myth, for instance. Or do not use the sociological concepts as if they were concepts of everyday life, because very often those concepts mean something different. So that is a challenge. In order to try to learn all this, one has to read the texts and also listen to what is said and in the class, and of course trying to rebuild this and ask oneself questions about what did I get out of this? Is there possibly another meaning? How does this connect? What's the difference between this concept? When I hear this, what do I understand? What can be understood? How is it explained in connection to the former paragraph or the former chapter or the former lesson? So this is why I personally believe that the student shouldn't be presented just with discussions where people come up with their opinions and discuss. They should be confronted with more strict and serious questioning and understanding, where they are asked not to come with their opinion, but to use the concept they learn in order to analyze a situation. The idea is to be able to analyze and to build up, to make use of concept to analyze a situation.